No, that's actually very interesting to me because that is one of the main things that quote unquote Western women would say typically, that these females speak very little English and that they don't really understand the situation. They just see a guy from America, passport, and freedom, right? The free land, right? And that's not so often the case. Oftentimes, a lot of these Philippine women or foreign women, period, speak English. I mean, English is a very worldwide. It's a very known language. All right. It's not like these women are like, how would you even get to the point where you're marrying somebody if you can't even speak the same language? It just doesn't make sense. But let's carry on.
Not very good with read and write and arithmetic neither.
Women that don't have education.
Excuse me? For your information, we have stricter education and school system than the United States. So actually, Filipinos are multilingual. English is our second language, and we speak 150 dialects in my country. We have English subject from nursery till college. That's always part of our curriculum. It's not foreign women's fault if American men fall for them instead of you. You must understand, like us Filipino, we are naturally sweet. We are naturally like that. Okay? And that's what they like about us because we are just sweet, understanding,
Facts.
caring. It's not because we are submissive. We're not submissive. You ask my husband that.
You lost me right there because that's a key quality that I need in my woman. So I don't know. She gives me submissive eyes. Maybe she's just saying this for the camera, but you lost me right there, baby. Let us carry on. It's not too much. Not too much.
He will tell you I'm not submissive.
So when you say those things about us Filipinas, how do you think that makes us feel?
Don't tell us that we are uneducated. That I've been able to take care of my family. I became a breadwinner at the same time, a homemaker, but I am as educated as you are. I graduated cum laude and I am a teacher. And so it hurt me a lot when you're saying that people in Asia are uneducated, they are submissive. In fact, I am as empowered as you are.
You tell him, sister. And now we get to the videos that managed to attack the passport bros while insulting us Filipinas too.
When you go find a wife in the Philippines or Thailand or Eastern Europe or wherever these places are that are overseas, I'm assuming you mean they're more biddable, that they're less outspoken, they don't demand anything of you.
No, I often I really do wonder where they get these concepts from. What makes them think that these foreign women act like this and because they don't speak English, because they don't have American education? What makes them think that they're more controllable? What makes them think that a guy is going out of the country and spending whatever X amount of money to go find somebody to control? I don't think any guy rolls out of bed or goes to work 9 to 5 and works a 80-hour week just to get this check and say, okay, man, I'm about to go control this bitch. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's how guys work. So the whole controlling narrative is just beyond me.
That they're just happy to be rescued from their poverty-stricken life of no opportunity.
And this is another thing that they're in are you guys hearing the words that she's using? Poverty-stricken life with no opportunity. Under what assumption do you I'm just at a loss for words. Let us carry on.
And in return, all they have to do is subject themselves to your advances. I do wonder at your motivation for why you want to go overseas to find a partner. Is it because you prefer your woman without opinions?
See, she asked a rhetorical question here and then proceeds to answer herself, which is, let us carry on.
Or fight back and vulnerable?
Yeah, you got me. I'm one of those overseas women who doesn't have an opinion in my little head. And I'll put up with your advances if only you'll rescue me from my life of poverty. Please, sir, I want some more.
Oh, man, come on with the commercials,
Employers
man.
and owner-operators required to be enrolled in a random drug and alcohol testing program.
These passport predators are the bottom
of the... Here goes the typical black woman, barely attractive, obviously past her prime, and that's how you coming in talking about passport predators. I mean, I'm pretty sure these are grown women that these guys are going to go see, that they're going to go be with, that they're going to go marry and whatnot. I mean, if they weren't, that'd be, I don't think that would be allowed. But hey, here we go with the typical the typical, yeah, let me not even start with the typical, yeah. Y'all know what I was gonna say. Let me not say it. Let's carry on.
Barrel. And the reason they're going overseas to get women is because we don't want them.
Like, you look like you somebody's grandma, bro. Where is your husband at? Where is your grandkids at? Like, why are you even sitting up here on social media discussing young people complexes? It's past your prime. Ain't nobody but to travel across the sea to come see you, baby. Like, give it up. Like, what are you doing?
They know if they go overseas, they're more likely to find a woman who will do whatever it takes to secure a better life for her family. Trust me.
And hear that. They're more likely to find a woman that will do whatever it takes to secure a better life for their family. Is that a bad thing? Shouldn't every woman strive to secure a better life for their family? Shouldn't every person do that? You see how they try to villainize these men for absolutely no reason. I mean, is that a bad thing that they're trying to find a woman that would put their family first? Is that wrong? How dare they? Ooh, how dare they?
We don't want them, and we appreciate you guys taking out the trash for us.
And you see how they speak on, you see how women like that speak on men. Wonder why that men would travel outside of the country to go find women. Just listen to how you speak. Ask yourself, why? I'm pretty sure if you talk long enough, you'll figure out the answer. Let us carry on.
You're welcome, lady, no problem. But what is the problem is that you're implying that we sell ourselves to do whatever it takes to be with a man that disgusts us. Are you calling us what I think you're calling us?
Passport pros are people who specifically go from country to country to country trying to find women, exotic flavors, to dabble in, right?
I want everybody to just notice, like, look at the females that are having such a big problem with this passport bro movement. Instead of bettering themselves, all right, fuck that. Look at her. A decent 1.3 out of 10, getting up here, being upset that men are going elsewhere to find beautiful, feminine, family-orientated women. I don't want a green-haired Chelsea looking like first off, like man, all of these women are past their prime. They're all 35 years plus, so we can all see where their bitterness comes from. I mean, if you don't already have kids at that point, it's going to be pretty high risk, baby. I'd suggest you go find you a man, hold it down, play that role, and build you a family, because if you don't, it's looking like you're not going to have no cards to play here soon. Let us carry on.
Oh man, I can't find any good women in the States. So
and don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not here saying that there aren't any good women in the States. There are, but they're very, 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 very few of them, because here in the United States, women have a tendency of following culture, and the culture right now is sexual promiscuity and prostitution, to keep it blank with you guys. And that's not what guys are looking for. Nobody wants to be with a 304. Nobody wants a woman that's had 1,000 bodies. Nobody wants a woman that's experienced 1,000 men, because their ability to pair bond is almost deceased at that point. Is it not? Let's carry on though.
Gonna have to go somewhere else in the world. Like, women are inherently different in every other country. It really starts becoming weird when you go to third world countries or countries that are not as advanced as ours. And a lot of these women are desperate, so they're going to take you up on that offer, right? They want someone who is going to be submissive to them. And what better way to find someone who's submissive to them than to find a woman who is at your beck and call? Because, the only reason she's in the United States is because of you. Sounds to me like a lot of control issue. Right. And to be honest, ladies, these aren't the type of men that we want anyway.
Yes, because every man just wishes so much to find a bitch that they can control and do whatever and manipulate. And come on now, man. No woman that's happily married or in a happy relationship is going to get on social media, TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever it may be, and start blasting all of this BS out of their mouth about what another guy got going on in their situation. Obviously, you haven't found someone to give you companionship, so therefore you're gonna attack the people that are out there actually trying to seek companionship, especially when it's not from green-haired big bimbos that look like you. Let us carry on and see what this harlot has to say.
Right? These men want a woman that they can control, and because they can't find it here in America because it's frowned upon to like own a human here. They go to other places in the world where they can legally own a.
Everybody's hearing this, right? They go find women to own. Everybody's hearing this, right? And the women want to be owned, right? For what? America, so they can live in America. I don't think that's the ideology behind the whole movement. I'm not gonna act like I know everything about the movement because I don't, but I'm pretty sure that's not the ideology behind it. But we understand where your bitterness comes from. If I looked like you and I was a woman in 2023, I'd be just as pissed too. God damn it. These third world women are taking our niggas and they just doing I can't even find a nigga here. They don't even gotta go across the country for me. I'm right here and they still don't want me. I'd be upset too. I really would.
A human.
Well, I thought I'd heard it all, but I just found out that the Philippines has legalized slavery. I wonder how much I could get if I put on a little makeup. And once again, Filipinos are depicted as desperate, submissive, and at a man's beck and call. Do you have any clue how insulting that is? But at least you consider us adults, unlike these next women.
Clearly, underage girls. Do y'all realize when y'all make comments on videos like how women are just jealous when we're talking about minors, meaning?
No, I'm gonna cut this off right here. Please understand, I don't condone any relationships of adults and anybody underage. So I'm assuming that all these women are grown, that are all 18 plus, that are adult women, of course. Because anything outside of that is blasphemous. Let us carry on.
Children that y'all are basically telling the world what you've done or want to do. Mostly, I'm pretty sure a lot of you did. This is why I tell everybody a man will do what he do to your 13-year-old or a 13-year-old if he know he can get away with it. Why would you think a woman would be jealous of a child? You stupid, nasty fool.
So now a passport bro is somehow a pedophile who's just looking to do what he do with a 13-year-old. Well, I don't know why you think we're underage, but we can't exactly help the fact that we look a lot younger than you think we should. And apparently, you're not alone.
This whole passport bros movement is evidence to me that in the end, the trash usually takes itself out.
Now I want you guys to understand that not once have there been one of these little TikTok videos or Instagram reels of a woman and she's actually attractive. Like not once has it been anything that's more than like a 3 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10. I wonder why that is. I really wonder why that is. Obviously, it's because the beautiful women aren't having trouble finding men. Regardless if they come with masculine traits or aren't submissive, insubordinate, whatever it may be, or combative, whatever it may be. When you have a certain level of beauty, a man is willing to look past that to work with you and try to, meet you in the middle of those type of things when you're beautiful, when you're aesthetically pleasing. But when you look like these shorties, trust me, you gonna have nothing to do but complain. Don't worry. Even if the niggas wasn't going to fucking Brazil and the Philippines and Eastern Europe, they wouldn't be going to you. But let us carry on. We have some down bad brothers. Some probably would, but that's neither here nor there.
The creepiest, strangest, and most annoying of men are deciding to leave the country and pursue children in developing countries instead of bothering us. And I'm not mad at it, but I think it's funny that they think we're mad about it. Go ahead, get your passport.
It's funny. She's talking about they look like children when she herself looks like a child. I would assume that this woman or girl is 14, 15, 16. I'm hoping she's older speaking on these type of complex, but I mean, she as well looks like a child.
Because clearly nobody in America wants you.
Okay, it's bad enough that you call the passport bros creepy, annoying, and strange. But the fact that you aren't even bothered if they pursue children says a lot about your priorities. And thanks for implying that men can just come over here and hang around with children. You may not know this, but the Philippines takes that kind of thing very seriously. If a man is even seen with an underage child, he's immediately reported and investigated. Oh, wait a sec. I forgot. We're too uneducated and submissive to say anything about it. Carry on.
What the fuck did I just do?
Give me just 7 days, and if you're not winning 80 to 90%
Okay,
of your
so
trades, then you don't pay. And on
Passport.
I really do wonder how, like, I really do wonder how they think these foreign societies work. Like, do they think that there's just no rules there and that it's a free for all and that niggas can just come from the airport and get to snatching kids up and do whatever, that their parents won't wonder where they are, that nobody will see it and report it? Like, do they think that the society is in such shambles that pedophilia and perversion of that nature can just exist and no one will do anything or say anything about it? Do they think that the women are too scared to report it, that the men also are gonna support it? I don't know.
Bros are real and saying they go into other countries.
Once again, we have another okay, she's like a 4. She's a little better than everything else that's been on the TV. She's like a 4. I'll give her that. Assuming that that wagon is dragging. Assuming that wagon is dragging. She ain't looking too bad. But I mean, I wouldn't approach her on the streets, but I might hit it on a Sunday night. Like, fuck it, but let us carry on.
Find more submissive women? No. Which means they are strategically picking countries that are stereotyped for having very relaxed, if any, rules around these two things. So they're going to other countries not to find submissive wives, but to find women and girls that nah.
Sure, lady, there are no laws about domestic violence here. Our husbands can beat us all they want. And we're so submissive and desperate that all we can say is, please, sir, I want some more. So the implication is that men come.
Hold on. Shout out to the Philippines Bay. What's her name? The Filipina Bay. The Filipina Pia. That's like a tongue twister or something. But that is absolutely hilarious. That women could somehow believe that anything just goes, like if you want to beat your wife, beat her. If you want to kidnap a kid, kidnap him. If you want to commit SA, go ahead. I don't think that's how the country runs itself. And I'm very curious on why these Western women do.
Here for the purpose of targeting women and girls. There's that pedo thing again. Just so they can physically abuse us. Do you have any evidence of that? Or does it just feel so good to say it?
Do you have any evidence of that, or does it just feel so good to say it? Do you feel like that's what happens? You don't have to see it, but that's what you feel like happens out there. So that's the truth. That's your truth. You're right. It's your truth.
Claim that it's all about money.
I literally have all the money in the world, but cannot find a man. I've been in that struggle. And I've thought to myself, should I go to another country to find a man? Should I go to a different place? Is it just New York City? Should I go to a different part of the country? Like, where can I find this man for me? What is very different about me, though, and in my situation that distinguishes me from a passport bro, is that I have a lot of money. So I'm not going to Thailand to prey on young boys who have no money. I'm not saying, oh, let me go to some developing country, somebody who's not privileged, and prey upon their young boys. Like, I'm not doing that. When I thought about traveling to different places, I thought about going to luxury spots, like going to nice places and meeting people at a similar socioeconomic status, similar situation, people that are doing well, people that can understand what it's like to date a woman with means. I think that is why there's such a disdain, and certainly I feel this, a disdain towards passport bros, is because they're not playing on an even playing field. They're not saying, oh, let me go to San Diego and go to like the nicest, country clubs and let me go and meet somebody. No. These people are saying, wow, people here don't respect me because I'm literally not doing well. And I have to go to a country where people are living on less than $10 a day. And that's where I'm going to find my spouse. That is the part I have a problem with, because then it becomes very predatory, very creepy, and just kind of inappropriate. But again, when you throw in the financial inequity and the patriarchal system of preying under both youth as well as this gender disparity and the privilege that comes with that, I am not with it. I'm not with it.
Okay, lady, it's great that you have more money than God, and your biggest struggle is choosing which high-end resort to meet men at. But stop for just a second and listen to what else you just said. Women in your country don't respect men that aren't doing well. So what's a man supposed to do when he's not dripping $100 bills from every orifice in his body?
A lot of these women talk for so long that they'll answer their own questions. Like, if they just sat there and listened to themselves speak, they wouldn't have so many questions and what ifs about certain situations. They would understand that they have the answers, that it's okay, that it's all right, that nobody's pursuing them. It's okay that men have chosen to go elsewhere. It's all right. I mean, you don't see niggas out here bitching and crying about where women go to find their men. Like, a lot of these hoes out here, like older niggas with money. You think us young niggas is out here bitching and crying? No. We making work with what we got. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I mean, I ain't mad at you, baby. If you want you a sugar daddy, go get you a sugar daddy. You just not my type. Like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not your type. Cool. I'm gonna find somebody else. Like, we're not about to get on social media and tell y'all that y'all got daddy issues and that's why y'all like older men, and that the men that y'all fuck with are sexually perverted, because why would they even like younger women? And obviously assuming that you're over the age of 18. But let's carry on.
How lucky for you that you can go hobnob with the rich famous, but you do know not everyone's as fortunate as you, right? You say that people should find someone on their own economic level. But if a man who's not doing well isn't wanted there, what's he supposed to do? Just give up because Western women aren't interested in the contents of his wallet? Or maybe they can find a place where women won't reject them for their lack of resources, like the Philippines. What's wrong with that? It's amazing.
Exactly. That's another misconception that a lot of these women have. They think that a guy is going elsewhere just to go find somebody to control, and they have all the money and they have all the power. But let's not act like the Western world isn't living in a perpetuate state of prostitution, essentially. I mean, if you don't have a certain bag, you can't pull a certain woman. We not mad at that. That's just what it is. Who cares about what it should be? That's just what it is. So some of these niggas get old, man. Some of these niggas done. Everybody's not supposed to be a rock star. Everybody's not supposed to be an athlete. Everybody's not supposed to be an entrepreneur. Somebody got to flip the motherfucking burgers. And some of my niggas that flip the burgers understand that, hey, I can't get me a Kim K. I can't get me fuck a Kim K. Even the basic 19-year-old girl that just graduated high school expects a nigga to have, you know what I mean, some cheddar, like 100,000 a year ASAP. I mean, women don't understand how small the population that really is, and niggas aren't here sitting complaining about it. But what niggas will do is find a woman that don't give a fuck about that cheddar and gives more fuck about love and family orientation. That gives more of a fuck about human connection. That gives more of a fuck about similarities between morals. That gives more of a fuck about religion. That gives more of a fuck about characteristics and personality traits. Like, it's more to love than a wallet. But a lot of these Western hoes is not gonna understand that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's keeping up with the Joneses. Everybody's watching social media. Everybody's watching everybody eat. So females don't want to settle, even though men settle every day. Let us carry on. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying they're gonna get it how they can. And if they gotta go to Brazil to find them a little, you know what I mean? Then they gotta go to Brazil. I mean, who said, you know what I mean? Like, who said you gotta find you a Western woman? Don't get me wrong. It's a couple of nice Western women out here. I'm not saying every Western woman is a gold digger because they're not. I'm just saying more are than are not. But let us carry on.
Amazing that when you find your level, it's just fine. But when a man does the same thing, it's creepy, predatory, and inappropriate. And of course, it somehow involves the dreaded patriarchy. But even when all your arguments have been thoroughly destroyed, you've still got your favorite go to tactic: anger.
Oh my God.
Did you know
these
that in
commercials.
Texas, rifles can be carried in
Like,
public
come
without
on,
a
man.
license? Whereas in Florida, no open carry.
Get your money though, Philly.
Well, fuck you. Go away. Go find your women wherever you want. If you're not satisfied, I don't know what to tell you. If you want a woman who barely even speaks English and just has to suck your go for it.
Triggered immediately. Well, F you then. Just go overseas. We don't need you. Whatever. Bye, loser. You see the anger? Do you see that?
Yeah, I saw it, Bo. I saw it. But there's also some
They
good
are immediately triggered at the fact that they assume that these women are so futile, so have such low education, or just so ready to go for anything. Absolutely blows my mind. I mean, these are the same feminists that do understand these are grown women that they're talking about, right? I mean, isn't feminism supposed to empower women? I mean, or is that just a Western woman thing? I don't know. Let's carry on.
good news for the passport bros. Some Western women actually get it, like this classy lady.
Why are you mad? Because men are choosing
See,
to go
before
out of
she even gets to talk, look, take a look at the house. Take a look at how she's, you feel me, dressed, how she carries herself. I'm willing to bet 9 times out of 10 she's married. She has a man upstairs somewhere or in the living room laying on the couch watching the game. I'm willing to bet she has kids. She's lived a full life. She has a family. Willing to bet that she's lived a fairly happy life. I mean, I'm willing to bet that, you know what I mean, she might be a little bit out of her prime right now, but hey, 10, 20 years ago, she was probably that thing on the block. I'm willing to bet. So we can see where the two different perspectives come from when, you know what I mean, one is unattractive, one is probably used to be attractive and is even still attractive for her old age. I mean, yeah, I mean, let us carry on.
of the country, passport bros, and use their passports to get women that are feminine, fit, beautiful, inspiring, kind, cooperative, and submissive. Women that have traditional values.
You could tell by her dialect and her pronunciation, the way she speaks, you could tell she's somewhat educated. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not no dumb broad. So she probably has an IQ high enough to tell, hey, niggas aren't just up leaving and taking all their hard work money and doing this, that, and the third to find somebody to control and that they can abuse and that they can just ragdoll and treat however. Maybe niggas are just looking for love. Maybe niggas are just looking for compassion. I mean, isn't that how we're all hardwired?
Why are you mad about that? Here's the thing. The passport movement, passport bros, this is not a new concept. Men in the military, guess what? Many of them have wives that they met outside the country. Okay. So this is not a new concept. And you know what else? My son-in-law is actually half Filipino. That's right. His mom's from the Philippines and his daddy is Black. It's not a new concept, y'all.
And for the final clip of the day, let's hear from a little fireball named Dee.
Like I said, she's obviously married. How did I guess? Because she wasn't bitter inside. Let us carry on.
The big picture.
Well, I'm just curious as to why so many modern women are confused as to why men are leaving. Why we have the passport bros and men who are deciding to look for women elsewhere. And some of them seem so oblivious to the point where they really don't get it. Men are looking for traditional women.
Now, I want you guys to understand here. I know I said it earlier, but I have to say it again. Take a look at this woman and take a look at all the other women that were speaking negative, all the other women that had bitterness pouring from their heart, all the other women that were bleeding on those who did not cut them. What's the major difference? Let us carry on.
And most men
Study is bad.
Have always wanted traditional women. But because modern women were taught to go to school, get their education. They were never taught to prioritize marriage. A man.
I'm sorry, I gotta keep cutting it off, but you can obviously see the women that have been pursued and that have the beauty to entice or entangle. They have the beauty for men to want to engage with them, and maybe might put aside other characteristics or be willing to work through these things. They're beautiful women. They have no reason to complain because their pool of men has never been empty. I mean, it seems that only the subjectively or objectively unattractive women that aren't getting pursued either way are just finding another reason to hate men. Let us carry on.
Or relationships, they were taught to go to school, get an education, take care of yourself because you don't need a man. Live your life, have your fun in your 20s. Fast forward, here we are.
And that's cool and all. It's not nothing wrong with being a Miss Independent and you got doing everything by yourself and this, that, and the third. But have you ever stopped to wonder, like, is that what men are looking for? Miss Independent? No. Men like to be useful. Men like to support and provide. That brings joy to a man's heart. So if you're Miss Independent and you don't need a man, then I mean, why would he want you? I mean, you gotta think about it in terms like this. If you see let's say you on the road and two people, let's say you're on the road, you see two cars with a flat tire. One car is a 6'4" guy, 350, has all the tools and obviously knows what he's doing, doesn't need help, independent. The other car is an elderly woman that's just looking at the tire, has no idea what to do, and doesn't even know where to even begin to look for the tools. Every nigga knows they usually should be in the back of the trunk when you lift that little flap up. But who are you more inclined to help? Who are you more inclined to provide your services to? Obviously, the person that needs you. Men like to be of service. Men like to provide. Men like to do things for women, not even just women, but people. That's just how men are. So when you're Miss Independent, why would I want to provide for you when you don't need me? When we should need each other. Like, that's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. That's just how men are. Men like to provide. Men like to be useful. Otherwise, why are you around?
A world full of modern women who are independent entrepreneurs, boss chicks. They don't need no man, right? But for a lot of these women, this entrepreneur, boss chick, independent woman lifestyle is not working out the way they plan. Because when you choose that means you may not ever have that family structure, that home, that two-parent home. The majority of these women become single mothers because during that, have your fun in your 20s stage. And then when they hit their 30s and 40s, they were not prepared for that because nobody told you what hitting the wall looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You were never taught how to be in a relationship. You were never taught how to treat a man, how to love a man. Also going forward, we really need.
And that's why you see all the other women that were speaking earlier in the videos, they were obviously all past their prime. Besides that one black shorty with the braids or dreads or whatever. But the rest of them were all past their prime because they had fun in their 20s. They ran that up. They had a promiscuous past. They did whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And now they're old and bitter and trying to find a man. And it's just not happening because they're supposed to be pursued, but nobody's pursuing. Why would a man pursue something that's out of its prime and has obviously given up everything that's supposed to be sacred to a man for cheap or even for free to every other man that came before him all willy-nilly? It's not how it works. Let us carry on.
Need to stop trying to shame men into accepting something that they just don't want. And women have to accept the fact that, hey, we've been taught wrong. We've been sold a certain set of rules and a lot of women ran with it. And now it's the very thing that's holding them back from getting or achieving the things that they say they want.
Yep, that about sums it up. And if you'll humor me, I have a couple final comments of my own. It's highly insulting when people claim that we Filipinas are uneducated, don't speak well, are desperate, and just a slave to a Western man's money. Is it true that we see passport bro?
Man, just look at this shorty compared to the rest of the shorties from the video. Besides the last two that were obviously spreading love and just, you know what I'm saying? The last two shorties was fine. But look at this Philippine shorty. She's obviously educated. She's fairly young, fine. You know what I mean? She's a 10 compared to the other twos that were around, even though she's not a 10. There's no such thing as a 10, but I say she's a smooth 7.5. Maybe if that wagon is dragging, I'd give her an 8, you know what I mean? But compare her to the rest of the shorties that were so bitter. I mean, would you rather go to the Philippines and be with that or stay here and settle with the shit you saw before? I mean, not to say that there's not beautiful women here in America. There obviously is a tremendous amount of beautiful women in the United States or in the Western world, period. But you guys get the image that I'm painting. Let us carry on.
As an upgrade to our situation? Of course we do. But so what? Isn't that the same thing you look for in a man? To find someone that makes more money than you do? So why are you bashing us for doing the same thing? Seems a little hypocritical to me.
Interesting.
But does it mean we're only looking for money with no love involved? Well, let me ask you the same question. When a Western woman rejects a man who doesn't earn enough, and you do it all the time, does that mean that all you wanted was his money? And the thing you really don't seem to get is that the men who come here aren't choosing underage girls or women from the slums that literally are desperate. They're mostly pairing up with average Filipinas. The beaten down, miserable woman who sold her soul just to get a meal. That pathetic Filipina you seem to have stuck in your heads. She's the exception, not the rule. Well, thanks for joining me. And I'll be back on Friday with an interview you won't want to miss. Till then, folks.
Let me see.
If you think about it, I'm kind of like the girl next door. No costumes, no superpowers.
Well, we might go end it right there, man. Shout out to the Philippine Pia, because that was an outstanding and just a beautiful breakdown. Just an outstanding, beautiful breakdown. Let's just give it cheers of applause. Look, I'm put like this, man. I'm not here to say that I'm gonna go ahead and lead this up too, man. I go subscribe to her channel, but I'm not here to subscribe to the Passport Bros movement. I'm just here to simply point out that there's a reason that these guys are doing this. They can't find fulfillment in relationships here, so they're going to go look elsewhere. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like I said earlier, Western women are driven by culture, and the culture here in America is degenerate. I mean, it's live your best life, do this because you might not be able to do it tomorrow. Nobody's saving themselves for their significant other. Promiscuity is on 1,000 right now. Divorce is at all-time high. Women are leaving men 80% of the time, and most of the time it's due to financial discourse. You know what I mean? Most of the time women are unhappy because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're comparing themselves to women that they see on social media, even though that's not reality. That's not what's really going on. Before social media, there was a lot of happier families, a lot of happier relationships, because nobody cared what anybody else had going on. People were just living their own lives and doing what was best for them and loving their own relationships. It wasn't about money. But now it seems like you have to pay a woman to date you, to give you time. It seems like a culture of prostitution. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but not all women are like that. Not all the Western women are like that. You'll find one of the peas in the pot that is wifeable. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, you will, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to go through a million s'mores just to get to her. And that just is what it is. I mean, let me know in the comments, man. It's your boy King Katumwa. We out.